guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage. So hope everybody's having a good week this week. Today we are actually not working on the truck. We still do have a lot to do to the race truck, but some other things came up and we actually have a new project. And quite honestly, this will probably be the only episode devoted to the said project, and you'll see why in a minute. But first we'll go over some updates on the race truck. So I received the bearing for the pulley, the AC compressor pulley delete. Wrong bearing came in. So, got to send that back, wait on a new bearing, even though I could have just gone to the store and got one, but oh well, decisions were made. So, got to wait on a new bearing. Hopefully, it'll be here in the next couple days. That'll finish up under the hood. Everything will be copacetic there. In the last episode, you guys saw we did the half dash mod, so we actually have to pull the gauges back out, put our wiring harness, which is right here, straighten that up, make that much better looking, and we can reinstall that back in the truck, and basically button this up so this is good to go. I'm actually contemplating moving the anteater, maybe to the side of the dash here, but basically wrap this up so that's ready to go, because John at Muldoon's messaged me the other day and the converter looks like it should be here shortly. He said they're waiting on a seal, not him, I guess the converter people, which we'll go into all that when the converter comes back and explain what happened, why it took so long, and all that kind of stuff. So I also keep forgetting until after they're closed. There's a couple places to call about cages, so I can get a cage ordered so it can be bent up and we can go get it. There's two places within an hour or 2 hours of here, so we can go pick that up so we can get the, working on the cage, actual cage for the truck. I also need to order the fittings for our air dog so we can get that all tied in, and we need to extend our wire harness for it back to the air dog. Get the, man, I'm really stumbling around here tonight. Get the fuel cell all buttoned up and, kind of paint all our cross members, all that kind of good jazz. And that's kind of the end of back here. Figure out what we're going to do with the exhaust, whether we're just going to make a straight hood stack or whether we're going to use that for the time being. And, like I said, all our hose and fittings, get that all wrapped up completely. And just get these little jobs out of the way so when the transmission and the torque converter come back, as long as we're not in the middle of the process of doing the cage, we can still take the truck out, see what happens, all that. I still have to work on our data logging situation. Yeah, bunch of little shit. So, that's all the updates on the race truck. So, what's this new little project I got talking about? Well, this past weekend, I picked up this. So this is a 61-inch zero turn. It is a Bobcat. It's an industrial mower. As you can see, none of the belts or anything on it. There's a bunch of miscellaneous shit that needs done to it. Most of it's fairly easy to take care of. Pretty new tires. The seat's a little wore out, but that's no big deal. Also, as you can see, there's currently no engine in it. And, well, let me show you. There was no engine in the zero turn, and as you can see, I have the trailer hooked up here to Caitlin. There we go. Now we got a little lawn tractor. What's that all about? Well, there's a 25 horse Kohler on it, and we'll go through the story of why we got two things, what's going on. So this past weekend, picked up the zero turn. The guy told me that the carburetor needed change. He had the carburetor. The price on it was pretty good. It needed some work, obviously. Not a big deal. It's nothing we can't handle. And we need a zero turn for the hunt camp. So I figured this would be great. Pick it up. We'll throw a couple bucks in it. We won't be into it for too much at all. So I got it back here to the house. Put the brand new carburetor on it. As you can see, brand new carburetor, I fired this puppy up, and it wasn't even running a minute. I mean, it fired up, ran just a little bit, and then this happened. As you can see, we have a hole in the block there. We have a nice crack here, and a hell of a fucking window there. This is something we would expect to see on the race truck, not on a lawnmower engine. So I got messing with it, put the new carburetor in, fired up, it fired right up, but it didn't hardly run, and then all of a sudden it just dead stopped. Ripped it apart a little bit, got a wrench on it, couldn't turn it. Then I saw the hole in the aluminum, said, oh, what the fuck? And of course there was oil all underneath of it, but I couldn't see it at the time. So what the fuck? And I did check the oil before I started, it was fine. So I don't know if it had an issue before I got it. When I got it from the guy, we had started it with carb cleaner for just a second. Seemed like it wanted to start. He did tell me it needed a carb. Figured no problem. Well, the guy called me and said, you know, how are you making it? Actually, he called me a couple times while I was working on it. How are you making it out? And I said, well, I figured out where, you know, I figured out what's going on with this thing. Yeah, what's that? I said, it's got a hole in it. What? So I sent him a picture of it, and he, you know, and I was obviously a little unhappy, but he had told me how he had gotten it on. Anyway, long story short, he calls me back shortly. He says, look, I got another engine for you. It's a garden tractor, but it should work. It's fairly new. I can get it here in a day or two. So the guy helped me out. And really, I'm going to give him a lot of the parts back from the engine, from the garden tractor. So we're solid there. All we got to do is a little more work on our part to swap these engines back and forth. A little bit of a pain in the ass, no problem though. Getting this one out after we broke it took like no time at all. So we're going to pop this one out. I'm going to take some pictures of all our wiring, and we'll go up, grab the zero turn out of up there, and get it on the trailer, because I did find it was a lot easier working on it on a trailer than laying on the ground. So put it on the trailer, hopefully get these motors swapped out. Like I said, I know you guys probably aren't going to like this, but it is what it is. This is the shit we got to do. So let's get to it. I got the two engines sitting next to each other. This is the 25 horse that came out of that, and this is the 27 that was in the zero turn. This is the bigger shaft. This is more of the industrial engine, the Command, but this is a Cougar. It'll work. Cougar. So a couple differences. The muffler for this bolts on and is this unit here. This one, it bolts on as well and has this unit, which we could always weld that on there and just use it, or we can try and retrofit this, in which case I'd need gaskets. The throttle setup is completely different, but I think we'll figure out a way to make that work. The other thing is, there's two different types of starters. As you can see, this one's more of your traditional, like a car starter, where it has a solenoid on it. This one does not. It has it separate, and I'm thinking we can just swap the starter, so we use the wiring that's already on the zero turn, and we'll swap that over, swap the oil drain, and yeah, I think we'll be good to go. This has an oil cooler too. I don't know if that's worth having or not. Probably just not going to fuck with that, honestly. But yeah, so pretty similar. They're like the same, but different. All right, I swapped over like the oil drain, put the plug in the other side, little miscellaneous shit like that. But then I went through and I figured out our wiring diagram. So it looks like old to new, green, green, white, white. Pretty straightforward, not too bad. We did also, or I also, I should say, swap the starter from this bigger engine to the smaller one. We'll just have to add a starter wire to this red one. Just tracing everything out, that looks to be the case. So we'll figure out a good way to do that harness. But right now, we got to get rid of this piece of shit and go grab the other piece of shit. Here goes nothing. That was fairly simple, no engine. Let's try this zero turn. I don't know we'll make out that well. sure you guys aren't gonna be able to see anything much, but I'm gonna push this son of a bitch and see if I can get it on the trailer and get it to tilt. My bet is no. Right. Nope. So I took the exhaust off. The exhaust off this engine actually goes down, which would go into this plate here. We put the exhaust off the other one on. Completely blocks all the carburetor stuff, whereas this was mounted up here on the other engine. So my plan is I'm just going to bolt it up, put the bolts in loosely, see if I can figure out the throttle cables, and we can always make an exhaust up. That's not a big fucking deal. So let's see if this thing bolts up the way it should, and then we'll move on from there. I put these down pipes, if you will, on here and put this muffler from this engine on. As you can see, it's up against this frame. I actually had to take that bracket, big ass bracket bumper thing off in order to get it on there. But I was afraid just running it open, it wouldn't be good for it. The wiring I had to mess with. I traced some stuff out, and when I first hooked it up, when I just turned the key on, whatever wire it was had power. Anyway, it was trying to start when I was just turning it on, so I cut that, you know, retraced some stuff, figured it out. So now we should be able to check that out. Our idle even sounds right. Bump it up. Yeah, buddy. She is alive. Good fucking deal. I don't have the PTO clutch. I don't have the PTO clutch or any of that stuff on. I just wanted to get it running, like kind of like a proof of concept. The cover for this engine is different than this engine. So the carburetor stuff, or the, you know, the throttle and choke, were up here on that one. I actually like this one. It is definitely for a variety of shit. There's holes every which way. I was able to take the brackets off from over here and put them, you know, one over here, one over there. It just worked out really well, but as you can see, we are obviously touching that. That's not good. We'll have to figure something out as far as that and our exhaust goes. It's just kind of the game we're playing right now, trying to figure that out. So really the big obstacle right now is figuring out the exhaust with all the cables and the throttle bullshit. And like I said, I like this whole linkage. It seems much sturdier than what I was fucking with on this. When we put the carb on, well, when I put the carb on the other night. So I got to figure out what I want to do, how I want to run everything. And we'll probably have to end up making a custom exhaust on this. Yeah, zero turn with custom exhaust. Why the fuck not? All right, guys, so we're going to have to mock up that exhaust and figure that all out. Just probably do something a little custom just to try and get everything away from everything, and so I can still mess with the throttle stuff, so I can, you know, make sure, yes, the engine sounds like it is at a full throttle, but I don't know. And if we needed to adjust a cable or move a cable, I can't do that currently if I put just the exhaust that was on the tractor on it. So I have to figure that all out. So it fires, it runs, good deal. I know you guys are probably thinking, you know, why all this effort and all that? You know, it's for the hunting camp. We don't, you know, we're not going to buy a brand new machine. And if you've ever looked at the price of zero turns, they're wow. But even with me messing on this, if I were to charge the camp labor, which is not a thing, you know, it's a working man's camp, we'd still be making out. We'd still be making out like a bandit, honestly. But it runs. We're going to have to do some custom shit and all that. So I know this is like 1,000% different than anything we've ever done here in the garage. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I know you're probably not going to like it, majority of you, because you are used to the diesel race truck stuff. So let me know what you think. We'll go from there. It's just shit that's got to get done, and you got to find the time somewhere. So it's cutting in the race truck stuff right now, but honestly, the hunting camp's more important to me, personally. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Definitely comment down below what you thought about this episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Get out in your garage. Get the wrenching on your truck or lawnmower. Get the wrenching on something. Just wrench. Fuck it.